What would you do if a stranger slapped you in public just for touching a laptop? Would you fight back or walk away in silence? A sharp, resounding slap cut through the bustling hum of the tech haven megastore like a thunderclap on a clear day. The sound echoed off the gleaming shelves lined with the latest gadgets, freezing everyone in their tracks. Customers mid-conversation halted, their eyes widening in shock. Sales associates paused, their scripted pitches dying on their lips. In the center of it all, a young salesman named Tyler Brooks, barely 25 with a smug grin and a name tag that screamed top performer, had just struck an elderly man across the face with such force that the old gentleman stumbled backward, crashing into a display counter. His wire-rimmed glasses skittered across the polished floor, spinning like a discarded toy. The old man, Elijah Hawthorne, 67 years old, clutched the edge of the counter to steady himself. His breath came in ragged gasps, his weathered hand pressing against his reddening cheek. The sting wasn't just physical, it pierced deeper, stirring memories of a lifetime of quiet endurance. Phones whipped out from pockets instantly, capturing the moment in high-definition cruelty. Whispers rippled through the crowd. "Did you see that? Oh my God, is he okay?" Some laughed nervously, their chuckles masking discomfort, while others stood in stunned silence. Tyler stepped forward, his voice booming with false authority, loud enough to draw even more stares. "Don't touch the displays again, you old bum," he snarled, his eyes flashing with contempt. "This isn't a playground for beggars like you." Elijah said nothing. He didn't shout back, didn't demand an apology. His silence hung heavy in the air, more powerful than any retort could be. The crowd watched, a mix of pity and morbid curiosity in their eyes. Nobody knew who he was. Nobody knew the quiet storm brewing inside him, a man whose calloused hands had mended engines for 4 decades in the dusty garages of Amarillo, Texas. A widower who had buried his wife too young, raised his daughter alone, and now lived for the spark in his granddaughter's eyes. He had come here not for himself, but for her, little Amelia, 18 and brilliant, who had just earned a full scholarship to college, but couldn't scrape together the funds for a decent laptop. Elijah had saved every penny from his pension, dreaming of the day she'd unwrap it and chase her dreams without the weight of worry. But from the moment he stepped through those automatic doors, the stares had begun. His faded flannel jacket, worn from years of honest labor, hung loose on his frame. His jeans were patched at the knees, his boots scuffed from endless miles on concrete floors. He didn't match the sleek, modern vibe of the store, the kind of place where young professionals in crisp polos hawked overpriced tech to eager buyers. To them, he looked like trouble, a relic from another era who might smudge the pristine screens. Elijah had wandered to the premium section, drawn to the sleek Titan Pro laptop on display. It shimmered under the spotlights, promising speed and power, perfect for Amelia's engineering classes. He reached out tentatively, his fingers brushing the keyboard with the gentleness of a man who respected machines. That touch, innocent, reverent, was his only crime. From behind, Tyler's voice erupted like a gunshot. "Hey, hands off." Before Elijah could even turn, the slap connected, sending a jolt of pain through his jaw. The world tilted for a moment, his vision blurring as humiliation washed over him like a cold wave. Tyler loomed closer, his arrogance swelling with the crowd's attention. "This ain't a museum, Gramps," he sneered, his words dripping with venom. "You want to gawk at stuff? Go stare at YouTube on whatever ancient phone you've got hidden in that rag of a coat." Laughter erupted from a nearby group of sales reps, one of them chiming in that he just wandered in for the free AC and Wi-Fi. The chuckles spread like wildfire, each one a dagger to Elijah's pride. He could feel the heat rising in his face, the tears pricking at the corners of his eyes, not from the pain, but from the sheer injustice of it all. Memories flooded him. The day he fixed his first car at 16, the pride in his daughter's voice when she graduated, the quiet nights holding Amelia as a baby after her parents' accident left her in his care. He had built a life on hard work and kindness, yet here he was, reduced to a punchline. But Elijah swallowed the bitterness. He bent down slowly, his joints protesting, and retrieved his glasses. The lenses were smudged, but he wiped them on his sleeve without a word. Dignity, he knew from a lifetime of trials, spoke loudest in the hush of restraint. As he straightened up, the crowd parted like a sea, their phones still rolling, capturing his quiet exit. He walked out the doors, the bell chiming mockingly behind him, into the harsh Texas sunlight. His cheek throbbed, but his resolve hardened like steel in a forge. This wasn't defeat, it was the spark of something greater. Across the street stood a modest little shop, Bite Haven Electronics, its sign faded and paint peeling from years of weathering the elements. No flashy neon, no blaring ads, just a warm glow spilling from the windows, inviting in a way the megastore never could. Inside, a young clerk named Lucas Rivera, just 20 and fresh out of community college, manned the counter. He wasn't chasing commissions or quotas. He was there because he loved tech and believed in helping people. When Elijah pushed open the door, the bell tinkled softly, and Lucas looked up with a genuine smile. "Good afternoon, sir," he said, his voice warm and respectful without a trace of judgment. "How can I help you today?" Elijah paused in the doorway, the contrast hitting him like a balm on a wound. No stares, no sneers, just kindness. He pointed to a mid-range laptop on a simple shelf, nothing fancy but reliable. "I'd like to know if this one's good for college work," he said, his voice steady despite the ache in his jaw. "Have you ever been judged by how you look, treated like you don't belong, when all you wanted was a little kindness? Tell me in the comments, has this ever happened to you?" Lucas nodded eagerly, pulling the laptop down and setting it up on the counter. "Absolutely, sir. It's got a solid processor, plenty of storage, great for essays, research, even some light design work. Would you like to try it out?" No hesitation, no suspicion, just respect. Elijah sat on the stool Lucas offered, his fingers exploring the keys with the same care he once gave to carburetors. For over an hour, Lucas demonstrated features patiently, answering every question with enthusiasm. He shared stories of his own college days, the late nights studying, the thrill of that first A. Elijah listened, a faint smile creeping onto his face for the first time that day. This young man saw him, not his clothes, not his age, but as a person with dreams and needs. As the demo wrapped up, Lucas asked gently, "So, sir, does this seem like the right fit? Would you like to take it home?" Elijah didn't respond right away. He glanced around the cozy shop, its shelves stocked with care rather than excess. Then his voice grew firm, laced with emotion he could no longer hold back. "You treated me like a human being, son. In a world that's forgotten how, that means everything." Lucas blushed, shuffling his feet shyly. Elijah cleared his throat, his eyes misting over as he thought of Amelia's bright future, of the kids in her school who faced the same struggles. "I came here to buy one laptop," he said, pausing as suspense built in the air, his hand reaching into his jacket. Lucas leaned in, curious but polite. "But after the way those folks across the street treated me," Elijah's voice cracked, the memory of the slap flashing in his mind, the laughter echoing like ghosts. He pulled out a thick envelope, stuffed with crisp bills from years of saving and smart investments in his chain of auto shops. "I'll take 12, all in cash." Lucas froze, his eyes widening in disbelief. "T12, sir, are you sure?" Elijah nodded, a tear escaping down his cheek as he explained. "One for my granddaughter Amelia, she's got a scholarship, but life's been tough. The other 11, for kids at a school who dream big but can't afford the tools. You've earned this, young man, kindness like yours. It's rare, and it changes lives." The boy's hands trembled as he counted the money, more than he'd ever seen in one place. 2 hours later, the laptops were boxed up, ready for delivery. Elijah shook Lucas's hand, the grip firm and grateful. "You've restored a bit of faith in me today," he whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Meanwhile, across the street, Tyler watched from the megastore's window, his jaw slackening as he saw the stack of boxes being loaded into Elijah's old pickup truck. Curiosity turned to dread as his boss, Mr. Randall Hayes, stormed out, face red with fury. "Do you have any idea who that man is, you fool?" Hayes bellowed, drawing stares from the same crowd that had laughed earlier. "Elijah Hawthorne owns half the auto garages in Amarillo. He's a quiet millionaire, pours his fortune into charities, scholarships, food banks, you name it. And you slapped him in front of everyone. You're done, fired, pack your things." Tyler's world crumbled in that instant. His knees buckled as the reality hit. The job he'd clawed for, the pride he'd built on belittling others, gone in a flash. He stammered apologies, but it was too late. Phones captured this too, the arrogant salesman reduced to a pleading mess. By morning, the video had gone viral, shared across social media with captions like, "Karma hits hard, salesman slaps millionaire, loses everything." Tyler's future dimmed. Job prospects evaporated as the story spread, a cautionary tale of hubris. Elijah drove home that evening, the sun setting over the Texas plains in a blaze of orange and gold. He stopped at Amelia's house first, watching her eyes light up as she unwrapped her laptop. "Grandpa, this is... I don't know what to say," she whispered, hugging him tight, tears streaming down her face. He held her close, thinking of the other kids who'd soon feel that same joy. The slap sting faded, replaced by a warmth that no arrogance could touch. In the quiet of his garage that night, surrounded by tools that had been his companions for years, Elijah reflected. Life had thrown him curves, loss, hardship, betrayal, but he had chosen silence over rage, kindness over revenge, and in doing so he had won. The next day he delivered the remaining laptops to the school, anonymous notes attached. "Dream big, you've got the tools now." Word spread about Elijah's generosity, inspiring others to pay it forward. Lucas's small shop boomed with new customers, drawn by stories of his humility. And Tyler, he wandered the streets of Amarillo, jobless and humbled, learning the hard way that respect is a currency more valuable than gold. It costs nothing to give, but arrogance, it can bankrupt a soul. As the sun rose on a new day, Elijah sat on his porch, sipping coffee, watching the world awaken. He thought of his late wife, how she'd always said, "True strength is in the heart, not the fist." Tears welled in his eyes, not from sorrow, but from gratitude. In a world quick to judge, he had proven that one act of dignity could ripple into a wave of change, touching hearts far beyond what any slap could erase. What does this story teach us about true wealth? Is it money, or the quiet power of dignity and kindness? Drop your thoughts below. Which moment made you tear up the most?